Welcome to Witch Yes, a podcast for casual conjurings, witches in training, and
I'm Alicia Herder.
I'm Terra Kick.
That was a good opener. I like that one. On today's episode, chaos magic. It's inevitable. Or is it evitable? Find out.
Don't get left behind.
The hottest new trend is here. Dude, what's up?
Oh my God. Well, in the pre-show, in the pregame pre-show, many things are up. There are nemeses.
Yes.
There are trials. However, publicly, I'm doing great.
I love that.
It's warm.
Oh my gosh, finally. New York City.
I know.
Is summer or spring? What are we feeling?
So the past couple of days have been extremely hot, like 91 degrees, which is like kind of this front before this big storm that we're having for the next 5 days, basically, which is funny because, of course, in New York, there's nothing more democratizing than one's discomfort with the weather. You can always connect with people on it. But hot weather creates kind of like these two camps of thought, which is, oh, it's so hot and it sucks, and aren't we all just like having the worst time? Like, let's be in this together. And then there's the people that are so angry that you're just like, I'm like, I'm just a girl. Don't yell at me on the corner of Delancey and Essex, please.
I remember the first time I was there for an internship, 2012. I was dating a guy and I was just like, it was summer. And I was like, I didn't think it'd be this hot in New York City. And he was like, baby, you don't move to New York City for the weather. That's always stuck with me. And I was just like, yeah, but does it have to be this miserable? Like, what are we doing here? Like, you have all these people just suffering communally. I just thought that was wild. Like, envisioning like the city, the big city. And then it's like, oh, we just suffering in the city. That's what the city is.
Yeah. I feel like at some point, like, we should pull a Beijing and just be able to like control the weather with our chaos weather balloons, like our just like ability to take drones and like make it rain. And for some reason we've decided we're not doing that, probably because Bed-Stuy would flood into non-existence, you know?
Yeah.
Like, our city is not made for weather, and yet we are born of weather.
It's a beautiful conundrum.
Especially when you're like, you grow up on songs that are like, autumn in New York.
And then you're there and you're like, wait, what? Except the leaves are nice, but not enough. Not enough leaves for autumn in New York to be a real thing. That's wild. Okay, I have to ask you, have you seen this show that you would adore if you haven't, called Witch Hat Atelier?
No, what is this?
It's on Crunchyroll. It is so cute. It's so cute.
Okay.
It's like, it's just coming out. So you can jump into like season 1 right now. And it's about a girl who wants to be a witch and has to learn about like how you do witchcraft. And I'm like very much toying with the idea of if I just spoil how you learn how to do it, because you find out in the very first episode. And I might. So skip 10 seconds if you don't want to hear this. But essentially the way you do magic in this world is you draw it, which is really beautiful.
Oh, I have seen this.
Because it's like, that is how you create. And so using this power of illustration to make these sigils, to make different magic appear, it's so great. But then the witches have to keep the secret from everyone else to like, you know, keep it pure or whatever. I don't know about that. But we have big stakes from episode 1. And this girl has to learn how to be a witch. And it's beautiful. It is stunning animation. It's gorgeous. And it's like little girls learning how to be witches. I think you would actually like love the show.
This is like my fucking shit. Do you have a favorite character? Can you share with us a favorite character?
I like, oh my gosh, there's this little creature called a bush buddy.
No, there's not.
Yes.
What?
Hold, please.
She's like, can I share my screen?
Let me find. Because what's fascinating is he has the makings of something I would not like, but he's actually so cute. Share. This is a bush buddy. Brush buddy. He's a brush buddy.
Oh,
Because he's kind of snake-like, but he has all this fur and just these big round eyes. And he's just a little creature that hangs out with them.
gosh. Does he speak or does he just go
He
like,
doesn't speak. He just is like,
those are my favorite
Yeah.
characters.
he's so cute.
He's like a mixture between a kind of Miyazaki, like dust sprite and like Hootie a little bit from,
From Owl House, yeah, absolutely.
but then also he is his own thing.
And he's just adorable.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. If Snake were fuzzy, would it be better?
If Snake had different mouth, maybe.
How do you feel about like weasels? Like, what are they called? Ferrets.
I like them.
And their mouths are kind of like, ah! And it's like silly when they do it because you're just like, oh God, you're so stupid.
There is something more trustworthy about like adding fur to something. It's like my brain can be like, I know what you are, and you are actually adorable.
You know what I know you are? A speciesist. She's a mammal supremacist.
I am. I love the mammals. Yeah. Amphibians, kind of gross, you know.
Slimy. Gotta be. Not their fault.
Reptiles, dry, spooky. Fish, shark or fish, nah. Dangerous,
Yeah. Alien.
creepy, alien. Is there anything else, or is that it?
There's like the, what are they called? I mean, insects.
Oh, get these bugs out of here.
This is true.
I don't have time for these bugs. Unless you're a butterfly. That's it.
Yeah. There was something the other day that was like, did you ever notice that like butterflies don't get trapped inside?
I saw that.
So it's like bees and flies and shit like that.
And it was like, that's a bug with class. And I was like, that is a bug with class. You're right. I have never seen a butterfly inside a house, a school, an airport. Pigeons go in airports, like, but not a butterfly. They are better than that. And I don't know how.
Yeah. What is that about? They just know. They're like, that's not my world. My world is
That
getting
ain't
inside
for
this
me.
flower.
That ain't for
Yeah.
me.
Well, maybe it's also because like we don't hold adversarial relationships with them. Okay, wait. Moth do get inside,
Oh.
but moth is not butterfly.
That's like a chaotic butterfly. I think moth is more butterfly than we like allow it to be.
No, it's totally just a different kind of butterfly.
Yeah, nighttime spooky butterfly. Like it's in places.
Eats my clothes.
Yeah. Up to shit butterfly.
Up to shit butterfly. That was lovely.
You're welcome. A brush buddy.
Man, that's so much better than like I haven't seen Sheep Detective yet. I really want to see it.
I heard it's good.
People were like, all the funny stuff's in the trailer. And I was like, I watched a pretty long trailer.
You're like, it seems pretty funny. Okay, well, you can watch it when you're in town.
Really?
Yeah, Sheep Detective.
Do
We'll
you think
try to
it'll
find
be
it.
on online services by then?
Probably. We'd probably have to pay like $20, but we can watch it.
Okay, that's chill.
Yeah.
That's chill.
I know. Only a month away until you come visit me. Less than a month.
I'm so excited. Should we get our spray tan appointment going?
Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier today.
Me too. Between the violence I almost enacted on my career. Oh, here's another thing I do want to talk about, which is 2 weeks from the time that this airs, it would have been New York Art Week. And I like went to most of the fairs. I didn't go to Esther, which is like this fair that's up in the Estonia house. But I went to most of the fairs. And you and I sort of been having a running friend cast in my voice notes app to Alicia because no one else gives a fuck about what I have to say about this
I do, though.
shit. But Alicia
I
does.
really do.
And I am not an art market know-how kind of girl. I actually feel really uncomfortable talking about the economy and money. But I really think we need to maybe lay off artists and maybe stop looking for artists to like fix the world and maybe see them as a tool in the toolbox for fixing up the burning house of our world. Like, I'm just feeling a little bit like we are, maybe unpopular opinion, we are applying a lot of pressure on these individuals that are responding to their own environments, their own interests, on their own journeys. And it feels a little bit like we don't like when Ashton Kutcher talks about, you know, political stuff and his like fight for protecting children or whatever. And we don't like when like politicians or musicians like say stuff about politics. But we really need artists to like fix the world. And I'm kind of like, maybe give them a break. And
You're saying the artist is tired.
I think that the artists are like not overtly, some of them are big activists. I just don't think the artist is like fixing the world in the way that a hammer fixes the world, you know, if that makes sense. I think that like the artist fixes the world in the way that like a poet fixes the world by like changing the way one feels about their place in it.
Yeah, the hammer's a more active tool. You can like smash in your opponent's heads with them. That's kind of where I was going with the hammer. I hope that's
like
what you
that.
meant. Yeah.
I meant more like building a house that we can all live in together like a beautiful family.
That's
and
not
I'm
how
the
I saw
dad.
that. Yeah. Not how I read that.
And sometimes art can be a gun, but like a lot of people were like, why not fix Trump? And I'm a little bit like, why every artist have to fix this? Why can't artists dream of latte and think about her mother and stuff? I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that, but I just want to share that with all of you, that that's kind of where I'm at, and maybe give each other a break.
I love that. Keep that in mind. Give people grace.
And money. Can we talk about the Patreon?
Oh, I love the Patreon. We can talk about the Patreon.
Speaking of grace,
Who's Grace?
our new co-host, I did not consult you.
Interesting. Go on.
Okay, so our new podcast host, Grace, she only exists on the Patreon. She is so interesting and funny and cool, and everybody loves her, but only the people on the Patreon. So if you do want access to her private content, which is very sexy and racy, perhaps you should give Alicia and Grace and I $5 individually together. Baby Witches, Alicia's getting married.
I am.
Not to Grace, to Marcel. And she needs money.
I do. Have you seen how much a wedding is?
How much is it, Alicia? Give me one thing. Give me one big purchase you've made.
Ugh, chairs.
Ugh.
Cost rent chairs.
And people gotta sit.
People gotta sit. But if anything, you need to have chairs. Isn't that annoying?
I would say that's great. And I'm excited to sit. And
She was not expecting me to see the chairs. She was like, the dress, something more glamorous. And I'm like, these fucking chairs. I need to put ass in seats, dude. I gotta put ass in seats.
it's true, the mundane, it costs more than you think. But you know what costs so little? Access to our Patreon, which in fact, per chair, Alicia can seat more individuals. So for $5 a month, you get access to 2 extra episodes a month, including our entire back catalog of over 150 extra episodes. It is crazy. We call our Patreon podcast Vaults of the Obscure. It is wild how obscure some of these topics get.
The very obscure. Like last week, we talked about spontaneous human combustion. And next week, we're talking about the midheaven. And what's the other one? The IC? I don't even remember how to say it now.
I forgot that that's also what we talked about.
Yeah.
So, Baby Witches, if you are interested in meeting our new friend Grace, who's totally real, and also getting Alicia some chairs, I'll get something too, I guess. Click the link in our show notes or go to www.patreon.com/witchyes.
And we'll see you there.
Yes, I will see you. I have access to cameras.
Well, that is chaotic. And speaking of which, let's talk about chaos magic. What in the world is this?
Alicia.
Okay, and I brought this. So really it's my problem, you know? We were thinking about episode ideas.
Yeah, I didn't think you would think that I would like a dog with a bone, just like dig my face, nuzzle first.
Yeah, she was like, let's go to the library. It was the most Hermione Granger thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Like I said, I've already gotten a book. I've already purchased a book.
It was crazy. But so I heard this thing about chaos magic, and I was like, well, we haven't really gone into what chaos magic is. I feel like we've mentioned it maybe on like the periphery, maybe early on. And so we decided it's time. It's time to lock her down, figure out what chaos magic is and how we can utilize it, you know, for world domination.
For exacting our ends, our evil ends, our evil chairs. Okay, so Baby Witches and also Alicia, have you ever watched the TV show Supernatural?
I have not. I have heard of it. I have not seen it.
Okay, so but do you understand the premise? It's like two spooky brothers and they're like solving mysteries a little bit to find their dad. So in the first season of this show with these two spooky brothers, there is an episode where the brothers are investigating this haunting of Mordecai Murdoch, only to find out that this is not a ghost at all. This ghost does not exist, but not in the way of like, oh, it's a guy in a mask. It's not a ghost because it is a tulpa. Do you remember these? Tulpas.
No, tell us.
So they are thought forms brought to life.
This sounds like a bad idea.
It's crazy. So he came to be when two teens from Texas painted symbols from their theology textbooks on the wall of this haunted hell house, posted it online, connected to this legend of this mysterious, murderous Mordecai Murdoch, right? So this is teens acting up.
I love it when teens cause trouble.
Because of the collective belief in this entity, while looking at these posted religious symbols, specifically a Tibetan meditation symbol, Mordecai became a tangible thing just by the power of thought. What's interesting about this is because he's only like in our physical flesh realm because of our belief in him. If our beliefs change about him, they change in the real world, right? It's like if you die in the game, you die in the real world. So like his physical form and how killable he is and what kind of weapons he uses and all of these things are impacted by what this kind of large online following believes about him. I mention this because it's kind of an easy way to enter the fundamental beliefs of chaos magic, which is your beliefs, especially those unconscious ones, have power, and you and your reality are kind of like the tulpa.
Okay.
So figure one, who thought of this shit? So before we get into chaos magic and how I'm going to use it to get a new car of my dreams, let us consider where it comes from. So if Thelema comes from Aleister Crowley, Wicca comes from Gerald Gardner, who is the great-granddaddy of chaos magic? Introducing Austin Osman Spare. Or Sparry, I don't know, but I'm going with Spare because he is the fourth child of Philip Newton Spare and Elizabeth Osman, so he is truly a Spare.
True, in that family.
So the great thing about researching Austin Osman Spare is that the witches have been thinking about this man.
He's kind of cute.
This is him when he's 18.
Okay.
A pretty solid job for an 18-year-old.
Yeah, very put together.
It's like got his little like
His curly Q, yeah.
yeah,
His Clark Kent curl.
adorable. And he's sitting sort of pensively like at the camera. Like, I'm serious. I'm 18.
Mm-hmm.
These witches, they have been thinking about him so much that they've dug up his birth time. So away we go.
Oh, we need to know everything about him.
Austin Osman Spare was born just after 4 a.m. on December 30th, 1886. I wrote 1986. That would be crazy. That would be like
insane.
He would be here with us, but he's not. He's dead and old. In London, England, which makes him a British December Capricorn. Here are some highlights. Capricorn sun aside, Austin holds a Piscean moon in the third house, which I find really interesting because a Piscean moon on its own is already artistic and spiritual and highly sensitive. And its existence in the third house, that of communication, the mind, like RE Gemini, is this kind of blending of the psychic and the mental worlds, right? Which is very chaos magic. This will come up later. Just a personal interest, Austin and I have the same Mercury placement with less than 10 degrees of each other.
Wow.
So our Mercury in Sagittarius in the first house is like big ideas, big smile, big joke. What is the answer to the big question kind of guy? And this makes sense later because we learn that Austin is not interested in making magic as small as it can be, so it can kind of be like picked apart and controlled. His view of magic is actually really accessible considering the time period that he grew up in, populated by the likes of the OTO, the Golden Dawn, and Thelema, which I find extremely interesting in conjunction with his Chiron in Gemini in the 8th house. So Chiron, which is like kind of my bullseye lately. Anytime I look up somebody, I'm like, what's your core wound? What are you afraid of? And having a core wounding around communication, being misunderstood, not being able to express oneself freely, and having it in the 8th house, which is ruled by Scorpio. So this colors those fears. It's not like, I'm afraid to express myself because of money, or I'm afraid to express myself because I'm afraid of my identity. It's like, I'm afraid to express myself because this feels like a life or death, like occult, shadow, control, like taboo subject. And it sounds like a massive head trip, especially because like we do know about him because of these obscure, strange concepts. So if you have this idea to share that you need to share, and yet you are paralyzed, and he overcame that in some way, is fascinating.
Ooh. Go, Austin, go.
Go, Austin, go. Also, I did not write this down. Apparent big animal lover.
Oh, we love that. Good person, obviously. We'll find out if that statement is true or not.
I think overall he's a pretty good guy. Austin was an artiste who seemed largely interested in dark fantasy and the grotesque. So he's tortured. He's a good guy, but he's tortured. I get it. Same. Working in London, he ran a short-lived arts magazine. He maintained an artistic practice and worked as a draftsman. But all the while, Austin, with his dark machinations and secret taboo interests, was amassing little by little materials and ideas surrounding the occult. He created his first grimoire in 1905 at the age of 18 called Earth Inferno.
I like that. He made his grimoire, he took a picture, and we fell in love with him.
Do you think that was like his author photo?
Oh, absolutely. Right on the back of that grimoire.
Yeah. He's like, this is going to sell. People need to know. I need a headshot. Earth Inferno is largely based on the writings of one Helena Blavatsky.
Oh, we know her.
We know her, and her idea that the earth is already in hell. But beyond Blavatsky, Austin starts to unravel his kind of larger ideas about the ideas of Kia and Zos. So Zos is the human body. In many ways, it was Austin himself that separates us from the larger universe and individualizes us and allows us to act in the world, okay? But Kia is the universal mind. It is source. It is the fundamental principle of the universe. But it is not God. It is your conscious human mind, or a facet of Kia. Yes, your consciousness is an integral part of the universe, just like hydrogen and helium and gravity, okay? Like, it exists. It's not a fantasy. It's not like a illusion. But there are illusory factors to it.
So it's consciousness. Is this like soul, kinda?
If our human experience of awareness is a factor in Kia, but Kia is like the singularity of being. It is everything and nothing.
Okay. It's the soup. The soup we're all joined in. And sometimes you're the potato and sometimes you're the carrot.
And sometimes you're the coconut milk. In a later book called The Book of Pleasure, Austin writes, the Kia which can be expressed by conceivable ideas is not the eternal Kia, which burns up all belief and is the archetype of self, the slavery of mortality. And that is very similar to the Tao and Taoism, if you've ever read like the Tao of Pooh, which states that the Tao that can be named is not the eternal Tao. Like how AI can know that Paris is the capital of France, but that one individual can know Paris because one has felt what it feels like to be in Paris. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. The two kinds of knowing. One other thing about Kia that does not continue on into future iterations of chaos magic, because like we're really not even at chaos magic yet, is that Kia for Austin is inherently feminine. So it receives and it transmutes and changes things and births a magical result. And that makes the chaos magician, in this case, male, because he impregnates the Kia. And I'm kind of like of two minds about this. Like, how do you, like, you made a face and made a noise. So, like, explain that. It feels gross to me, but also then I feel this other thing.
Okay, so Kia, I can see it like this feminine, calming, back to how we are, creation, like we're the soup. But so it was interesting that the chaos magician specifically is masculine. and not like the Zeus, like all Zeus. And maybe that's what he meant. Maybe he just meant Zeus is masculine. So the fact that he just said chaos magician is where I was like, huh, interesting. Does he mean Zeus as like all people in this aspect? Or does he truly mean the one wielding the magical power?
So sometimes Zeus is him specifically, but also Zeus is like your body, like your kind of exosuit that your Kia is in that moves around in the world and exacts change. This is how I've kind of understood it. But that the act of doing magic, the magician who does magic and manipulates the Kia, impregnates it in some way with ideas. And I think that if we were to remove the term impregnation and instead like plant the seed, like something that feels more like nurturing and conceptual and consensual. I mean, does the farmer impregnate the dirt? Like how
No.
that doesn't feel right.
Ew.
Right?
Think about everything you're eating and like now farmers jerked off into it. He impregnated it. Yeah, I mean, impregnator, I think, is just an ick.
Yeah.
That's just an ick. No one gets impregnated.
Yeah. It's
You
like,
know? I think that's bad.
that's like when people are like females.
What's up, females? Ooh.
Ugh. So yeah, they do away with this in later iterations, but back to Austin. So as a young artist and magician, Austin blips onto the radar of Aleister Crowley around 1907, a little over 10 years before he take all of his followers to the Abbey Trap House. Aleister's whole thing, besides being a dog shit dad, is either I absorb you, right? Or I destroy you. Two modes of operating in the world. And fortunately for the future of chaos magic, Austin finds Aleister's hierarchies and endless rituals an absolute bore. So he dips in 1912. So he doesn't ever have to drink the cat blood. He's safe.
Good.
Aleister disowns him, kind of accuses him of being difficult, disobedient, and only interested in black magic.
Says the man drinking the cat blood.
Says the man impregnating a teenager. But hold on to this idea of like hierarchies, rituals, all of this kind of like extra shit. The reason that Austin leaves is because he's like, this isn't what magic is really about. Also, Aleister's weird. But like this stuff, all this extra shit, this is a distraction. This is an illusion.
It's like power, control, all of that.
Mm-hmm. All the stuff that I love. No, I'm kidding. So Austin is developing this familiarity with magic and throughout the First World War and Second, and he is staunchly anti-Nazi, which thank fucking God. He's doing these drawings and writing these books, and he writes a book entirely through automatic writing titled The Anathema of Zos, the Sermon to the Hypocrites. He publishes a surrealist card deck for divination, and alongside all of this, he's sort of haunted by this idea of the mystery, right? This Kia, this mystery, this like absolute knowing. Magic exists for Austin. It is a larger system above and beyond humans that can be tapped into, but what is our connection point, right? That's kind of like his big question. He's, influenced by Crowley and Blavatsky before him. Austin does investigate a myriad of different cultures and systems. He's sort of like spiritually promiscuous. Is your connection to magic something that you are bored with, or is it an Egyptian codex that you need to know the password to so you can plug it in beneath the stars when the light of the full moon illuminates the scarab crystal beetle? How do I get it? And how do I teach other people to get it? Can magic be magic without religion?
Interesting.
But then Austin dies of a burst appendix in 1956.
Oh, ouch. That would hurt.
He never sees his magical system flourish. He never even calls it chaos magic.
Wow.
It just kind of is this thing that exists out there in the world.
Oh, all that handsome gone to waste.
Yes. All that talent, all that art.
So sad.
But baby witches, you might be like, I thought this was our grandpa. Like, what? Where's our grandpa? And I say, yes. Like many great artists, Austin was ahead of his time. But it wasn't until the 1960s and 70s when spiritually promiscuous magic audiences acclimated to postmodernism and maybe some mushrooms that the ideas of Austin Osman Spare took hold in a small London occult publication called The New Equinox, written by Peter J. Carroll and Ray Sherwin. Peter and Ray were both interested in ritual magic, but also so fucking over the politics and the secrecy and the religification of magical groups. There's a pretty metal quote from Peter J. Carroll that reads, "Magic will not free itself from occultism until we have strangled the last astrologer with the guts of the last spiritual master."
Okay, we are feeling feelings.
Yes, that's some big words there.
Wow. Can you even imagine that now on like Instagram where everyone's an astrologer? Crazy.
Oh, yeah. And everyone's a spiritualist and everyone's a master.
Yeah.
Also, sidebar, how do you feel about people calling themselves spiritualists now? But like really, they're just woo-woo? Where I'm like, oh, you talk to ghosts? And they're like, no, I'm like,
Just woo-woo. I don't know, because I think that's the same as people saying like, well, I'm spiritual, not XYZ religion. So I can understand how they could bastardize the word spiritualist. But you're right. We should burn them at the stake. They got to be talking to ghosts. Why aren't you talking to ghosts? These ghosts have fucking things to say.
Give me your guts.
Yeah.
I'm going to strangle you. Well, it reminds me of like people that are like, I'm not a feminist, I'm a humanist. And I'm like, well actually.
That means you're an asshole. That is very clear what that one means.
Yeah. The spiritualists aren't assholes. They're just having a good time.
Uneducated.
And that's not a crime.
It's not a crime to be dumb. You're right. If so many people would be locked up, but they're not.
This quote about the entrails, right, is very violent towards moi, who loves the moon. But it's also a metaphor for the sneaky ways that humans systematize and organize themselves away from capital T truth, right? So I think it's Ian McGilchrist who said something along the line, and I'm like totally paraphrasing this. He says something along the lines of like the quantification and organization of data in regards to an experience or truth strangles the divinity of being out of it. So like when you start to notice your breathing and it becomes really clumsy, or like you are made aware of your tongue and your mouth and suddenly you can't find any comfortable place to put it.
I love that you're mentioning these things right before I have to do my part of the episode. Very sneaky.
Chaos. But yeah, so it's this idea that like, even though it's like kind of our natural human inclination to like put things into a list and be able to describe things and communicate things, doing that, you lose some kind of knowing essence from it. It drains from it some kind of beingness or thingliness. And even as we move through this episode about chaos magic, because we are communicating with language, we will naturally organize it with words and bullet points. This is like subsection 3 on our Google Doc, but the math of chaos magic is not the kind of math that you're used to, because just moments ago, I said we are systematizing and organizing ourselves away from truth, but chaos magic says nothing is true, which means everything is true.
The opportunities are endless.
All right, so back to Peter and Ray. Peter writes these 2 books, The Liber-Null and The Psychonaut. And in these books, which I read, Peter takes Austin's idea of Kia, wipes off the gender politics from its glowing visage.
Okay, great.
Thank God. But he says other weird shit we must accept, and sort of confusedly names Kia the elusive I that confers self-awareness. And then he creates a larger universal truth that umbrellas above Kia, which again is source, and he calls that chaos, which is where the chaos of chaos magic comes from. So from the Liber-Null, the unity which appears to the mind to exert the twin functions of will and perception is called Kia by magicians. Sometimes it is called spirit or soul, like Alicia picked up on, or life force. But instead, Kia is capable of occult power because it is a fragment of the great life force of the universe. The quote, thingly thing, responsible for the origin and continued action of events is called chaos by magicians. Chaos is the force which has caused life to evolve itself out of the dust and is currently most concentratedly manifest in the human life force, or Kia, where it is the source of consciousness. So it's like chaos, big umbrella. Kia, tiny, beautiful shard. And then it is most powerful and most concentrated when it gets to inhabit a human form. And so this like reminds me so much of so many other magical doctrines that say your awareness, your soul, your sense of being inside, and your sense of like there's stuff outside of me this is also a shard of a larger whole that connects you to a fuller something. And your ability to connect with that big weird other while you're like a little weird you is in this flesh form allows you to create change in the world without the use of your little flesh form. Does that make sense?
It seems very much like when we had our conversation about creativity.
Ah, shiz.
Like Kia is creativity, and then it's about how that connects with you, which I think makes sense. Like creativity, manifestation, the soul soup, you know, the powerful soul soup, and then connecting with that in like an earthly, fleshy kind of way.
Yeah. And it's also that like, okay, so if I've like got this little finger, I'm like a finger puppet of chaos and Kia, that like some part of me can also control my thumb.
I'm tickled by this chaos puppet wielding master that you've become.
Okay. So I've kind of talked about where chaos magic has come from, but where are we now? What is this actually?
What is it? But what is it, you know?
What? Tell me. What am I?
Okay, so chaos magic isn't just about being random, which is kind of like what you would think it would be. Because it's chaotic and random is chaos. There's no structure. Chaos, 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 chaos. But it's the idea that your belief is used as a tool to shape reality. So chaos magicians rejected rigid ceremonial traditions and asked the radical question, what if magic works because humans believe it works? So instead of pledging allegiance to one religion or deity or system, practitioners borrow from everywhere. A little bit of tarot, a little bit of sigils, a little bit of Monica in my life, and Erica by my side. Like psychology, pop culture, astrology, paganism, meditation, Harry Potter, all of it. So one day someone might invoke an ancient Greek god, and the next they're using imagery from a comic book or a meme. Because, you know, it's Athena one day and Superwoman the next. Like, you got to give it a little flair in your life.
Oh my God, polyamory, but make it
No.
Greek gods.
The philosophy is essentially, if it creates results, then use it. Which honestly, I kind of love this because it doesn't force you to choose one thing and stick with it through thick and thin. Like we all love the goddess Artemis, Diana, we love her. And for some witches, like that's it, you know, they always pray to her. But for a chaotic witch, maybe they'll pray to Diana 1 week and come back to her 2 years later. It's about whatever works best for that current moment. Chaos magic is also very heavily intertwined with mental manifestation. This says your thoughts create reality. And chaos magic says your beliefs create reality. So it's about like training your thoughts to become beliefs and believing what you want with your reality, which is the kind of like delulu that I think you need to have as an artist, first off. And like, I can get behind this.
Yeah, this is like a major theme in my life right now is that like we're kind of taught that we are a slave to our thoughts. Mm-hmm. And like beyond the like the Buddhist Ram Dass idealism of like, let your thoughts go. It's that like your thoughts are produced by a belief system and you can change your mind.
Yeah. And this is why therapists make so much money. It's
Yes.
like, what is the narrative you're telling yourself? But you can change the narrative.
You can. You literally can. And like it's hard, but also like a lot of shit you do every day is hard.
Yeah. And so one thing that needs to be perfectly clear is chaos magic is not eclectic witchcraft with a cooler name. So they overlap a little bit, but their philosophies are actually really different. And I guess it gets on a lot of people's nerves in like the chaos magic realm when they're like, it's just eclectic magic. They're like, no, it's not. Because, you know, you have to have a hill to die on. And that is their hill to die on.
Yeah, they're like, nothing is true, but also just one little thing.
This one thing. So as a reminder, eclectic witchcraft is usually about blending multiple spiritual traditions into a personal practice while still believing that these traditions hold some inherent spiritual truth or like sacredness. So an eclectic witch might work with tarot, moon phases, herbs, crystals, all the stuff we love to work with, you know, ancestor work, all of that. And it's because those systems resonate deeply within them. There's often a sense of reverence, of lineage, spirituality, or energetic consistency holding it all together. Like it's above you, you know? Chaos magic, on the other hand, is much more experimental and psychologically fluid. The core idea isn't necessarily this tradition is sacred. It's belief is a tool I can consciously put on and take off of whatever. A chaos magician may use a ritual from Wicca on a Monday, a Catholic prayer on Tuesday, and imagery from Twin Peaks on Wednesday. And not because they believe all those systems are spiritually connected, but because they're testing what produces results. In chaos magic, symbols are often viewed less as eternal truths and more like a temporary software for the mind. So, okay, this reminds me about how like a few months ago in China, people were creating Kris Jenner memes to manifest wealth and success.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
So at least for a week, people were looking at images of Kris Jenner, like photoshopping her onto memes and saying different things like, oh, the blessings, because, you know, she's incredibly rich. So they're like, this is it. And this is how you manifest money, money, money. But that kind of goes against everything that an eclectic witch would be interested in, because it doesn't come from ancestor work or folk magic or these herbs that you know this because of they've been around for this long of time, or even astrology, which has been around to us forever. Someone just made this shit up and put Kris Jenner's face on it and was like, I mean, it's fucking goofy, but maybe you could make some money off of this.
Yeah.
That is chaos magic.
It's also like the group manifestation power is powerful.
And now, like the Kris Jenner meme, it's like, it's passé and people have moved on. Its time is over. And no one, it doesn't seem, maybe people are, but no one's really trying to hold on to it and be like, this is sacred. This is special. No, it was just kind of the moment. And we tried it. Maybe it worked for you. Maybe it didn't. And on to the next thing. So if you're interested in chaos magic, think of yourself more as like a mad scientist. You're constantly trying different things that resonate with you just to see if it works with your kind of magic. And that's why chaos magicians are sometimes described as occult hackers. They remix spiritual systems the way DJs sample music. A little bit of this, a little bit of this, a beep boop bop boop boop. If I had listened to all of my musician friends, I could think of something more clever to say than beep boop bop boop boop. It's okay. Sometimes they talk music and I just have to like zone out, you know?
Fabio's listening like all our years of friendship and all she's gotten is beep boop bop bop horn noise.
That's it, dude. The practice is deeply tied to postmodernism, internet culture, and the idea that meaning itself is flexible. An eclectic witch usually builds a spiritual identity through it all, but a chaos magician intentionally avoids any kind of fixed identity altogether.
Yeah, they don't want to be known. They don't want to know themselves because like that's an illusion.
Yeah, it's all fake. It's all made up.
Yeah, it's all chaos.
It's all chaos. Another major difference is that eclectic witchcraft often emphasizes ethics, seasonal cycles, connection to nature, all of these things. Chaos magic can be almost aggressively anti-structure. As Terra was saying, they do not care about the rules. They do not care that the full moon is tomorrow or whatever it is, that you have to do this on the full moon or the new moon. They don't care about that. They may see rituals as methods for just altering consciousness, influencing behavior, or accessing the subconscious mind rather than contacting divine beings or choosing the right scheduled time to do their witchcraft. And that distinction matters because people sometimes enter chaos magic expecting a cozy witchcraft community and instead find something much stranger.
People are weird.
These people are weird. People are highly philosophical, psychologically intense, ironic, experimental, and occasionally edgy to the point of discomfort. If you have a nose ring, you might be here. You might be doing chaos magic, and that's okay. Gauges, join us.
Which one?
A septum, for sure.
A septum.
It has to be a septum. You're right. It is different.
Or two nostrils. I feel like the two nostrils.
Yeah. If you're pushing, the boundaries on like piercings and physical, like you're probably more interested in chaos magic because you're that kind of person. You're not trying to keep it cute and put together. You're trying new things and experimenting with like who you are.
Yeah. I'm going to bleach my eyebrows. I don't care if I look weird. That's the point.
That is the point. And chaos magic communities often attract artists, anarchists, cyberculture people, occult theorists, performance artists, and just people fascinated by altered states of consciousness, which really means like people who like doing drugs with their friends in the woods.
I would also add clowns. There's some sort of like clown energy I sense.
I sense that. We can put clowns under artists. They can be artists.
They are performance artists. I'm sorry I extrapolated.
Oh, you were like, specifically clowns. Because I don't trust them, and they are chaotic.
They are. They are. You don't know who they are. They don't want an identity.
And this is actually why some traditional witches are skeptical of chaos magic. Critics argue that it can become spiritually shallow. Like you're not connecting with anything. You're connecting with whatever you want in that moment. That it can be culturally disrespectful or even emotionally destabilizing if people are constantly adopting and discarding belief systems without understanding their origins. And others worry it encourages spiritual ego or just like main character energy. The idea that reality bends entirely around a person's will. Which, I mean, that is the idea of chaos magic is built upon.
I would even argue that, baby witch, you are going to be a chaos magician. If you were going to like take on this role, if you're like, hell yeah, brother, I have rings in places you can't even see. You need to be able to say yes and to these accusations with your fucking chest. I want to read from the Liber Lux super quick from this section called Destroying the Sacred. So it reads, energy is liberated when an individual breaks through rules of conditioning with some glorious act of disobedience or blasphemy. This energy strengthens the spirit and gives courage for further acts of insurrection. Put a brick through your television. Explore sexualities which are unusual to you. Do something you normally feel to be utterly revolting. You are free to do anything, no matter how extreme, so long as it will not restrict your own or somebody else's future freedoms of action, which on its face may not feel like super heady stuff. But as you break the pattern, break your idols, break the power other idols have upon you, you realize that postmodern truth, that everything is nothing. The next sentence in the Liber Lux is literally, by seeking out ideas which seem bizarre, crazy, extreme, arbitrary, contradictory, and nonsensical, you will find that the ideas you previously clung to as reasonable, as sensible, and humanitarian are actually just as bizarre, crazy, and so on. Which is very like Kia coded, almost like kind of Buddhism. It's all chaos, it's all emptiness. And I imagine chaos magicians who perceive the world as like, oh, it's all just phenomenon. It may sometimes be a non-issue for them to respect closed systems. There is no door for them. It's all phenomenon. It's all chaos, which is not to say, I also want to make a very big disclaimer. Not all chaos magicians are assholes. I feel like Devin Person is going to come into my email and be like, you are misrepresenting me. There's so many chaos magicians that are loving and deeply creative. It's just that the things that they value are different. Read liberation. Liberation is everything. And based on your personal system of values, you may not like those things. That's also okay. You may like those things a lot, or you might like some of those things. Like Alan Moore, chaos magician aficionado Alan Moore, worships Glycon the snake puppet. And he knows that it's fake, and he still worships him. Like, what are you going to make of that? Like, what do you say to that guy?
You say yes and.
You say yes and with your chest.
Exactly. Yeah, and supporters argue that chaos magic is one of the only occult traditions that is just brutally honest about what modern spirituality already looks like. Because today, people already mix traditions. From your astrology app to manifestation to tarot to therapy language, memes, psychology, crystals, ancestor work, pop culture symbolism, put it in a jar, shake it up, all at once. Chaos magic removes the illusion that spiritual systems are neat, pure, or fixed and shows what they are. A chaotic fucking mess. Okay, so how has it changed? So from what Austin was setting out to do and how that took over in the 1970s and 80s to now. So back then, chaos magic had kind of a cold cyber occult vibe. Remember, we're thinking like early computers, beep, boop, bop, boop, it's as big as a fucking room, like that kind of thing. Practitioners talked about belief systems the way programmers would talk about software. Rituals were often stripped down, symbolic, and intentionally anti-dogmatic. A chaos magician might adopt Buddhism, then abandon it. then experiment with Norse mythology, then use comic book imagery as an investigation into how symbols affect the mind, and it was almost aggressively skeptical. Some early chaos magicians even distrusted the word spirituality entirely. You are not a spiritualist. I do not trust you. Do you talk to ghosts?
Do you talk to ghosts or not? Don't lie. Because I'm also talking to them.
And they're telling me shit that they're not telling you.
They're like, she never called me up once.
But once the internet arrived, chaos magic mutated fast. In the 1990s and 2000s, bless, what a great time, online forums helped spread the practice globally, and suddenly the movement absorbed influences from cyberculture, fandom spaces, conspiracy culture, memes, gaming communities, and modern witchcraft. The internet was basically the perfect environment for chaos magic because the philosophy already embraced remixing identities, symbols, and realities. And on the internet, no one knows if you're you or when you're not being you. Like memes function like sigils, avatars become magical personas, people be catfishing.
They had a whole TV show about it.
Online communities became digital covens. And then with social media, it changed it again. Modern chaos magic, especially seen on TikTok, Tumblr. I feel like now rest in peace, Tumblr. No one's on Tumblr, right?
Oh, they recently switched it so you can have porn on it. Not recently, like a couple years ago, you can have porn on it again.
Like
and
you
now
share
it's like,
porn?
Yeah.
Oh.
So they took away porn. So Yahoo bought it 2015, 2016, something like that. And then was like, no more porn because there was child porn on it. But also they were like, no more porn at all. And so a ton of people left because they're like, this is my porn archive. And then I don't know if Yahoo spun it off or what, but there's porn on it again. And so now it has a darker clientele.
Wow. The 4chan, Tumblr. But yeah, 4chan as well. Reddit, Discord, YouTube. So it's often more seen as an aesthetic, emotional, and identity driven than the original movement. So there's a huge overlap now with modern witchcraft culture, manifestation culture, spirituality, influencers, and self-help language. Today, you'll see people combining chaos magic with astrology or shadow work or crystals or all of these things. And that's a major shift because early chaos magic often tried to avoid fixed identity and belief. And now many practitioners build entire personal brands and spiritual aesthetics around it. In some ways, chaos magic evolved from an occult experiment into a form of internet age self-expression. Because now it's almost like if you're partaking in chaos magic, should you even call yourself a chaos magician? Like, is that putting you in the box that you want to break out from? It's fascinating.
Because that's another identity.
Which isn't what you want. But now you see on TikTok, you'll be like, well, I'm a chaos witch, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, well, are you then?
Yeah.
Or is the brand just like how we operate now? And you just have to work within whatever brand you are digitally.
The Kia that can be named is not the true Kia.
Oof. Oh, say it in the back, girl.
But then at the same time, it's like we are trapped in these isolated flesh forms. We can communicate without words, sort of individually. I can like touch you. I can point at something. But like the technology that we have of like language means that in order to articulate these ideas, we have to like dilute them with words. And that's like kind of like that whole thing of like data, of like how many lessons have you kind of known mentally that like you actually don't learn until you like learn them in your body?
Yeah.
I also think that brands, harboring a brand is not an authentic, I don't know. It's just like,
yeah.
Is chaos magic a business? Is it like, can it scale?
Maybe.
Can it scale infinitely?
These are the questions.
What do you think?
I don't know. I think it's like, it was created as like a catch-22 for you to not be too comfortable.
Like, what is this sound of one hand clapping? Like an unknowable, unanswerable question? I mean, we're going to get into this, which is like, you kind of have to create a state of no mind.
Yeah.
You can't be here. There's like the you that is Alicia and the me that is Terra. But in order to like truly create chaos magic, like we cannot exist. So there's like this obliteration of the self that must occur.
So then if you're aligning yourself more as the self online, which online is already a very like isolating place that would make you want to hold on to something. are you partaking in true chaos magic? I mean, maybe you are. I don't know.
There's also this feeling of like, and maybe this is anti-chaos magic, which is people feel like they can dip their toes into something and have one foot in Buddhism that's like all about emptiness, and then another foot in like, but I'm me and I'm separate and I'm Terra and I have an identity and like a past and a family and hopes and dreams. And so holding those two things together is like really uncomfortable, because like if you subscribe to a worldview that everything is chaos and everything is empty, but then like you are deeply attached to its fullness and its meaning and its order, you like kneecap yourself. But they both give you things.
And I think chaos magic's more about like the detachment, which we should get into. Like how, if, okay, I want to be a chaos magic. How do I do this? Where do I start?
Oh, you want to be a magi?
Oh, I want to be a magi, baby.
Okay, so the most basic layout of chaos magic, Devin person, please do not come for me. The most basic chaos magic spell, if you could even call it that, is as follows. You establish an intent, classique. You create an external symbol of some kind, a sigil, a word. Then you enter this altered state of consciousness, gnosis. You detach from the outcome. I don't even care if it works. I don't even care if I get my new car. Then there's like magical jazz that you are not privy to. And then your outcome appears. And then there's all kinds of like extra like chaotic flair that you can get into. You can evoke a demon and trap it in a ruby.
Why not?
Why not? In 2026, if the women can't vote, let us have our personal demons in our jewelry and our dowries even. You could discover your life's purpose, your great work. You could be reincarnated into a new vessel of your choosing to live forever. You could enchant a sword. You could use that sword to banish shit.
Well, we like swords.
We are very sword forward. Our first season was very sword forward podcast. So
It's true.
let's get back to our magic. Before you do anything, you must create a magical boundary, preferably with your enchanted sword. So in the Libra Null, they have like these diagrams of like how you envision your magical sphere of protection. A lot of it is like drawing it with your sword. You draw it, you do stuff. But also it's like you must visualize its form, because again, your beliefs and your thoughts create reality. After you've done this, you set your intention and you take your externals, and that intention can be anything. It can be, I want a new car. It can be, I want to obtain the Necronomicon, right? It can be like, I want to fuck a succubus. So it could be anything. You set your intention and you have to make your external signifier for that intent. And there's two easy ways to do it. First is a sigil, which is like a magical design that holds with its special meaning, and you'll focus on this during Gnosis. Or you can make a special incantation. There's like these kind of cute ways. I was doing one of these without knowing where it came from. So I wonder if Peter and Ray found this sigil making practice somewhere else. But the first one is, let's say your desire is, I wish to obtain the Necronomicon. Very classic wizard desire. What you do is you eliminate all the repeated letters. If an I shows up at the beginning of
I wish.
you take out the I in wish and continue down the line. So it's like, if you were to write Alicia's name, it would be like
ALIC.
You can also do this by just eliminating all the vowels in something. So you're kind of left with this like run-on word, and then you take those individual letters and you overlap them and position them in a way that feels good to you. So you can get something that's like wildly abstract, but contains all of the pieces of that word or that wish in a single form. And it's interesting to see the same wish but drawn by a different magician, and they'll look really different. Additionally, if you're more of like a picture person and not like a letter word person, you can draw like what you want to happen. So in the Liber Null, it has this idea, I want to restrain my adversary. So it has like a little guy, and it has a J, which I assume is like the first letter of his first name. And it has all these little nails in him. And then you just further abstract that until you create something that feels unrecognizable, but feels right to you.
It's pretty cool.
If you're not into sigils and you want to have like a cool phrase, and who doesn't want a cool phrase? And you don't want to learn Latin. You don't want to go through Alicia's middle school experience being lied to. The example that they give in the Liber Null is, I want to meet an incubus in dream. Pretty basic desire. What you do is very similar to the first sigil experiment, is you just delete all of the repeated letters until you get down to a gibberish that you can repeat. And it has to be simple enough that you can repeat it over and over again. But the idea is that it contains all of the essence, the core desires and needs and letters of that desire. So I want to meet an incubus in dream becomes Hawi Emner Kutsad.
Ooh.
Doesn't that feel like very scary?
It does.
Hawi Emner Kutsad.
It sounds like a spell.
Yeah. And then once you have that, you enter Gnosis.
Okay, so Gnosis is its whole thing. In chaos magic, Gnosis is one of the most important concepts and also one of the weirdest. It refers to an altered state of consciousness where the analytical, constantly chattering conscious mind gets bypassed so intention can sink directly into the subconscious. Chaos magicians believe this is the moment when a sigil spell or desire becomes charged. In other words, Gnosis is the mental state that makes the magic go. Obviously, we recognize this word coming from Gnosticism, so Gnosis usually means direct mystical knowledge or spiritual revelation. But chaos magic repurposes the term in a much more psychological and experimental way. Instead of meaning divine enlightenment, it usually refers to a trance-like state where ordinary thought temporarily shuts off and focus becomes hyper-intense. Chaos magicians believe the conscious mind is actually the biggest obstacle to magic because it's full of doubt, fear, rationalization, and just your internal censorship. You may make a sigil for confidence or money or love, but your brain immediately sings, this is stupid. This isn't going to work. And so your desire gets blocked.
That's so sad.
It is so sad. Gnosis is meant to short circuit that resistance. And there are different ways chaos magicians work to access Gnosis. So there's inhibitory Gnosis, which involves stillness, deprivation, or just emptiness. This is your classic meditation, sensory deprivation, fasting, chanting, trance, sleep deprivation, deep breathing, isolation, all of that, staring at a candle until your mind shuts down. This version looks way more traditionally mystical. And then there's excitatory Gnosis, which uses overloading the senses instead of silence. So dancing, drumming, sex, orgasm, screaming, exhaustion, hyperventilation, adrenaline, all of that. The goal is to overwhelm the normal thinking mind until consciousness slips into a raw, highly suggestible state. And that's why chaos magic can look so contradictory. One practitioner might sit silently meditating for an hour, and another might blast heavy industrial music and spin in circles in their apartment. The methods differ, but the goal is the same: to break ordinary consciousness long enough to plant intention deeper into the psyche. And the sigils that Terra was talking about are directly tied to Gnosis. A chaos magician creates a symbol representing a desire, enters Gnosis, focuses intensely on the sigil, and then often tries to forget about it afterwards. Forgetting matters because obsession is pulling the thought, that desire, back into conscious doubt and anxiety. So chaos magic is full of these almost paradoxical psychological mechanics. Desire intensely and then release completely.
Yes, exactly. Actually, baby witches, you might recognize this from manifestation TikTok. So if you desire something, that is because you don't have it, which means you identify with and believe yourself to be someone who does not have it. And that creates your reality to continue to not have it. So I also like to imagine that it's like, this is like kind of silly, but like, if you love something, you must set it free. Mm-hmm. And if it is meant for you, it comes back to you. But even beyond that, and this is like my personal metaphor, I want you to imagine that thing that you want, and you reach out and you can touch it. It's within reach, and you grab it and you pull it towards you. In order to maintain its proximity to you, you have to maintain that grip, because if you let go, it's going to go back to where it was. But if you take that thing, pull it towards you, and then release it like a pendulum or like a Jimmy Neutron slingshot around Jupiter, it's going to come careening back into you without you having to maintain control over it. And that's kind of like the magical jazz of it all, right? And in chaos magic, this looks like discarding or burning your sigil, removing it from your mind entirely. But also, here's another warhead, landmine. Attachment to detachment is also attachment.
Your brain just explodes.
Fucking piss my pants.
Oh my God, there's no winning.
There is winning because it's all chaos.
It's all chaos and it's all okay.
So let's talk about some flair. There's some kind of like very sexy flair that you can add to this.
Okay, there's this idea of a servitor. And this is essentially a thought form. So what Terra was talking about earlier with the tulpa, it's an intentionally created entity designed to carry out a specific task on behalf of the practitioner. So chaos magicians create servitors almost like psychological or spiritual assistants, programming them with purpose, sometimes personality, symbols, runes, and just energy. So this one takes me a little bit to wrap my head around, just like the idea of this. So some practitioners believe servitors are literal energetic beings that exist independently once created. Others see them as a way of compartmentalizing parts of the subconscious mind. And in psychological terms, a servitor can function almost like creating a symbolic avatar for the goal or behavior pattern. By externalizing a desire into a being, this thought form, people may interact with their intentions more emotionally and consistently. Okay, for example, someone struggling with confidence might create a fox-like servitor associated with charisma and social ease. So they draw its sigil, they meditate on it, dance whichever way you want to go, visualize it before social situations, and just reinforce it through ritual. So this ritual is meant to change how the person engages with their own mind. So by creating this other thing, it's almost like a support system. You're like creating a buddy, more or less, to help you feel more at ease and lessen your social anxiety. Chaos magicians love servitors because they embody the philosophy of the practice, that reality itself is just symbolic, that it's made up. It doesn't matter if you just made up an imaginary friend or not. We're all just having fun out here. But servitors also represent one of the places where chaos magic can get a little controversial and psychologically risky. Some practitioners become deeply attached to their creations and begin treating them as fully autonomous entities. So there are certain online communities that encourage escalating beliefs that can drift into paranoia and unhealthy disassociation from reality. So this imaginary friend you made, are they helping you or are they hurting you at some point? What is Larson the real girl? Is she the real girl? She was a sex doll.
She died too, and he buried her, and it was awful.
It was a very sad story.
But that's also, it's so bizarre in that way, sort of funny, but also very sad. I love the term communities that encourage escalating beliefs. They up each other. They're always trying to one up each other. There's so many communities not in this sphere that encourage escalating beliefs.
It's so true. You got to watch out for them. I know that's one of the warning signs of chaos magic, but what else do we need to look out for? Because it is chaotic. So I'm sure there's a lot of good and fun, but it also comes with the hangover afterwards.
Yeah. I mean, let's talk about madness. One of the big things that they talk about in these books is there are mad magicians. Alicia was literally you are a mad scientist. It's insane. You divorce yourself entirely from consensus reality. So just at the top, baby witches, have you showered?
I showered.
She came in here with a head wrap.
I did.
Baby witches, have you lost all contact with your friends and families and have no idea who you are? You might be due some compensation from chaos magic. It's a shame that all these guys are dead. In the most lucid way possible, baby witches, I've been telling close friends that I've decided to go insane. Have I talked to you about this?
Yeah. I mean, she told me. I know this.
So I told my friend Kate, I told Alicia, I told my friend Jonna that I've decided that I am not mentally ill and that I don't have any of the diagnoses that fucked up therapist gave me and sort of plopped on my lap at 13 years old when I was really just going through puberty. And that actually my life is good, really good.
Yeah, she has a great life.
I have an amazing life. I'm capable of living at ease in the world, that good shit happens to me, that I can handle shit. I can handle what life gives me, and that I'm doing a good job. Among other insanities, in order to become insane, like QAnon people, I must only consume and reaffirm that reality and eliminate dissidents. And that has looked very different depending on the situation. So it looks like purging a lot of the content that I consume. I got rid of all of my true crime podcasts.
Really?
A huge part of my life, right? I love true crime. But I've completely stopped listening to it.
Oh my gosh, I'm so impressed.
Thank you.
She has gone mad.
It has really impacted like the people that I am available to. Like, I am only available to people that hold this belief about me. And it is not to say that like I cannot accept people coming to me with their problems, or that I'm not available to people that are like, hey, this thing that you did hurt me. Because as I said, I can handle everything that life brings me. But at the same time, I am not available to people that don't believe that about me. And this is like not in a shitty way, but in the way that an alcoholic can't hang out at bars for a while when they're going through recovery, right? And eventually they get to the point where they can go to the bar and have a soda and it's okay. Now, apply this to chaos magic. The Liber Null and Psychonaut warn that, yeah, dog, you can go fucking crazy if you are prone to delusions and psychotic bouts. You can go fucking crazy if you're only a little prone to excess. In a section of the Liber Nox titled Transmogrification, the Metamorphosis to Black Magic Consciousness, it states, chaos, the life force of the universe, is not human-hearted. Therefore, the wizard cannot be human-hearted when seeking to tap the force of the universe. The magician performs monstrous and arbitrary clown acts to loosen the hold of human limitations. The magical life demands the abandonment of comfort, conventionality, security, and safety for competition, combat, extremes, and adversity are needed to produce higher resolutions and personal evolution. Girl, it's gonna be hard. It's not comfy. This is not fun. An air of desperation is required in a life lived close to the edge. One must be living by one's wits.
Oof.
You got to hang on by a thread because that thread is made of gold.
This is the Marty Supreme of it all.
Therefore, abandon all fixed patterns of residence. Leave your apartment. Break your lease. Leave your job. No more employment. Relationships. Get rid of your dog. Give it to your parents. And taste. You must dress in rags. The idea of mind or ego as a fixed attribute or possession of self is illusory. You are not who you think you are. All that can be said of Kia is that the amount of meaning one experiences is in proportion to Kia's manifestation in one's circumstances. So Kia is felt, you feel it as meaningfulness, power, genius, ecstasy in action. Outside this, nothing is true, nothing matters. Wizards doeth as they wilt on this illusory plane, knowing that nothing is more important than anything else, and that anything done is only a gesture. And I think that there are the wizards that can do this and still exist in society. And then there's the wizards who can do this but cannot exist within society. And I suppose there is also a tertiary wizard who, like a supervillain, is into this and is also into obliterating society. The nihilist wizard, who really doesn't seem to understand Kia in any way. But I also think that belief of mine is also maybe too dualistic for chaos magic. It's kind of anti-Kia to suggest that you are either one or the other, or that you are both, or that you are neither, because it's all chaos. Chaos magic aside, the Liber Null and Psychonaut are not all there is for chaos magic, but it's really interesting to read. I highly suggest it. It's often recommended as like an integral part of chaos magic research. There's sections about magical combat, group experimentation, again, lots of sword play.
Oh, okay. We'll do swords.
It also gets into the 5 rights of chaos magic, theories about magical time. But the further you go in, I sort of felt like it got more structured and religious.
Interesting. Uh-oh.
Exactly, which is high-key not what our great-grandpappy of chaos magic, Austin Osman Spare, was about. And even the name, Liber Null, and the new Equinox, it's very Aleister Crowley. It's Enochian magic coded. It's in Latin, which is all hierarchy and feels kind of put upon or decorated by occultism. Quote, being quote here. And if we take it all away, the formula, the magic sword, which I'm very attached to.
We love that.
The existence of demons, the rubies. What is really left is the belief that we are all intrinsically connected through our parentheses being parentheses here, that awareness is an element of the universe and not an accidental byproduct of matter, that your belief in something creates your reality, and your power of thought can be used to create change in that reality. Which, my final thoughts are, this is just a secret again. This is the secret again. This is the power of now. This is big magic. This is the 48 laws of power. This is the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once. But in the system of chaos magic, you can say yes. And I pray to Michelle Yeoh's hot dog fingers for wisdom and bravery. And there's nothing they can do about it.
Say yes with your chest.
Say yes with your chest. Thoughts, complaints.
You are the magic. You're also the chaos. And I'd like to thank the other chaotic people of our lives. We'd like to thank Marcel Perez, our producer, Mallory Jordan, our creative director, and the most chaotic Kevin MacLeod, who probably doesn't even know we exist. That's how chaotic this man is.
No identity.
He's the composer whose music we use in our intro and outro, and we love it.
I love the chaotic people that have subscribed to our podcast on Apple, Spotify, wherever you're getting podcasts these days. Thanks for being here. Also, thank you to anyone that's left a review, because Alicia and I, we do this for fun. Tell us we're doing a good job. Give us 5 stars. It's the only way people find us.
If you want to find me, I'm Alicia on Instagram. I'm Alicia in real life too, I promise. But on Instagram, I'm at Alicia.Herder. The branding goes deep. I am who I am on and off the Instagram. But who are you, Terra?
I'm Terra, and I'm an artist, and I have an Instagram for my art, and you can find that at Her Lovely Face. And you should like my art, because it's kind of about all this stuff.
I love that. And you know what? If you want to find our chaotic creative producer, Marcel, he's on Instagram at Hey Marcel Perez. This podcast is on Instagram at Which Yes. That's the most chaotic Instagram, quite frankly. You can join our chaotic Discord server if you go to the bottom of the show notes. Lovely group of people. A little chaotic, but not terribly chaotic. Very friendly. And if you don't like the socials, you are chaos incarnate. So you can contact us via email at whichyespodcast@gmail.com.
And a final plea for Alicia's chairs. Please get Alicia some chairs. $5. She needs to sit. Her dress, it's so tight. In exchange, you get 2 extra episodes a month, access to our entire back catalog. And I think it's fun. The topics are fun.
It's got more gossip over there. It's more unfiltered. And the topics are chaotic. It's a chaotic place to be in the best way possible.
And this has been the best, which means this has been
Which Yes. Ooh, what a chaotic ending to this whole thing.
Cow.
Oh, then she shot me.
Chaos! Chaos!